Oh, he believes a lot of wild things. One of them is transgender surgery for people who are under 13.
So for those out there who are wondering, aren't there something else you could be doing or doesn't seem to impact you in your life? This is what it means to show empathy. This is what it means to be welcoming.
He changed the Minnesota state flag to make it look like the Somali flag. You ever seen that?
But our current flag is problematic. I think we all know that. We've evolved into a more diverse state, and I think it's...
Joe Rogan just stumbled onto something with Tim Walz so ridiculous even UFO stories start to make sense. In a flash, Walz stops looking like your typical politician and suddenly feels like a walking plot twist. Stepping into the spotlight, Rogan has enough material to roast him hotter than sizzling elk on a Texas grill. This isn't politics anymore, it's reality TV landed in Minnesota. What Joe uncovers blends humor, chaos, and a hint of conspiracy into one non-stop show. Grab popcorn.
Walz's descriptions of his military career, because there's some issues there that people have. I don't know if he flat out ever said that he served in Afghanistan, but he certainly didn't dissuade people from saying that he was... when they were saying he didn't correct them, there was things...
If you're enjoying this, hit that subscribe button. It helps more than you'd think. Joe Rogan has seen weird stuff. UFOs, politicians guessing elk tastes, health gurus swearing by kale smoothies. But even Joe wasn't ready for Tim Walz, a politician who somehow makes Minnesota feel like a runaway low-budget sitcom.
Tim Walz, if that guy got into power, like if Kamala died and Tim Walz, Tampon Tim, was our president, you know how crazy this country would be? That weirdo who puts tampons in the boys' room, and what about our joy? Like, he's a complete pathological liar. Like a complete liar. Lied about being in Tiananmen Square, lied about being a fucking head coach.
When Rogan pulled back the curtain, he didn't find a political genius. He found a man juggling chaos like a clown at a state fair. Walz somehow mastered looking busy while doing almost nothing. Politics on a treadmill, constant effort, zero progress. The illusion of motion alone is almost impressive in its ridiculously.
Oh, Tim Walz is out there talking again.
Did he say he could fight any Trump supporter?
Yeah, he says he'd kick their ass, and they're scared of him because he could fix a truck. Like they were threatened by his masculinity. I know how to fix a truck. So he said, like, do you? I bet you don't.
The lady doth protest too much.
I bet you don't.
I fear.
I bet if I bring a broken truck to you and a bag of tools.
That was kind of the redress, right? That was the attempt. It was like, we're gonna, the symbol of masculinity on the left is going.
Joe Rogan noticed every time Walz tries to flex leadership, it feels less like authority and more like a substitute teacher losing the class in 5 minutes. Minnesota hoped for a strong leader, got a confused dad fumbling with the TV remote. His leadership felt like a family sitcom, and the laugh track practically wrote itself.
You have Tim Walz doing the exact same thing.
Right.
Exact same thing, and he said, of course, it's a Nazi salute. He said that.
Right.
We spent 3 days debating, having them trying to debate that President Musk gave a Nazi salute. Of course he did. But that is a distraction.
This is how crazy things have gotten. Like,
the wild part? Walz isn't hiding it. He acts like he's cracked government's secret code. Joe noticed his big ideas sound like 2003 motivational calendar quotes, deep only if you're half asleep in a dentist's office. Rogan points out the comedy, not cruelly, but with that classic "Are we really doing this?" tone reserved for flat earth debates.
And there's no pushback. There's no like, excuse me, I didn't go to Iraq, right?
Exactly.
And I retired, as my unit was deploying. And so
we retired a couple months before.
A couple months before,
right?
Yes,
what is the whole
but those
story
guys know
it?
they know that they're going, right? It's not like they suddenly get a paper, on one day. There's a build up to that, and they're aware of it. And so, even his personnel were saying, look, we all knew we were going. He knew he was going.
Now, even funnier, Walz struts around like a secret hero of politics, while half the country wouldn't recognize him in a lineup. Acting like he's auditioning to play president in a high school play. Joe sees through it, no mastermind underneath. Just a guy trying to keep up with the pros while holding a playbook written in crayon. Rogan digs beneath the surface. And with Walz, the surface was all that kept chaos at bay. On the outside, a smiling politician. Underneath, someone who probably shouldn't be left alone with sharp objects. Each story spun another ridiculous twist, like peeling an onion only to find a spray-painted cabbage. One favorite Joe moment, Walz talking leadership like a TED Talk, while results look like a messy kindergarten art project, confusing, chaotic, and proudly presented as groundbreaking.
Was that right with Tim Walz?
I know I'm doing something right when the Fox News crowd is all bitching at me like crazy. Like, I'm loving it.
That guy was almost the vice president of the United States.
Elon Musk was crying last week. Tim is being mean to me, basically, you know, like, yeah.
I'm sure you've seen that thing where it shows Obama saying, I need a vice president that's dumber than me.
He may or may not have cognitive decline problems at his age, but at her age, she's just dumb.
Yeah,
And
I think I
Biden
would say
saying,
that.
Picture someone giving a big speech about innovation while still using a flip phone. That's the level of irony here. Walz stands tall like he's rewriting history, but Joe Rogan noticed half the time he's really just rewriting his grocery list. The funniest part? Walz carries himself like Minnesota is a political revolution, when it's really just dad jokes and awkward town halls. He thinks he's running Rome. Joe sees a lemonade stand with questionable math. People either buy it or play along because who doesn't love watching someone stumble through power like political Twister? Hand him a national issue, and it's a badly wrapped gift, torn paper, no bow, missing instructions. Minnesota politics isn't government anymore, it's reality TV that never made it past season 1. Yet somehow, Walz bounces back like a cartoon refusing to stay down.
video?
I haven't seen. Please play it.
It's probably a real person. It might not be Tim Walz. Trump is AI generated.
No, he slaps his...
I mean, that is hilarious.
It's definitely him. This is all 100% real, Jamie. You're a plant by the
Jamie's
government.
compromised.
On top of it, it's AI generated.
Riley
So
Moore
what?
fell for an AI-generated video of Minnesota government. I fell for it too. And do you know why I fell for it?
Yeah.
Because I believe that he's capable.
It's almost impressive, like watching someone slip on ice and somehow not fall. Skill or luck? Hard to tell. Walz dodges accountability like he's Neo in the Matrix, except bullets are bad decisions. Joe Rogan compared him to an overconfident substitute gym teacher, loud pep talks. But real plays? Ask middle schoolers with a whiteboard. Walz acts like he's playing chess. Joe sees Candyland, and he's still losing. The deeper Rogan dug, the stranger it got. Walz over-explains everything, hoping words magically turn nonsense into wisdom. Joe wasn't buying it. Walz's speeches are motivational cat poster level inspiring until you realize the cat's just stuck on a branch.
I mean, they were talking about cracking down on hate speech online. Like, that free speech is not hate speech. That Tim Walz guy was actually saying that.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
Here's the kicker. Walz somehow convinces people he's relatable. Joe called it out. His down-to-earth act reads like a marketing intern on their third coffee. It's not authenticity. It's improv comedy with a 2-drink minimum. Walz struts like the everyman, but Joe exposed him as an AI program to say folks every few sentences. Peak awkwardness? Walz somehow tops himself. Big initiatives collapse faster than bargain lawn chairs. He collects blunders like trophies, stacking them as if history will applaud. Spoiler, it won't. And the vibe? Walk into a room, and everyone braces for a comedy show. Joe compared it to first-time karaoke, loud, confident, and completely off-key. You can't help but watch.
But the video of him taking down the Minnesota flag and he replaced it with the new flag that looks a lot like the Somali flag. Minnesota has a huge population of Somalis in it. All right, ready. Whoa, wait a minute. So he gets the flag, picks it up, and replaces it.
There, that's better.
Why is it?
Irony hits, Walz thinks he's crushing it. While everyone sees a blooper reel, Walz sees highlights. Joe Rogan joked his real talent is living in an alternate reality where mistakes count as wins. It's delusion turned superpower. Walz chases trends like a surfer who never learned to balance. Saying the right words doing the work. Politics as karaoke? Walz mumbles lyrics hoping no one notices. Criticism? He doubles down with the confidence of someone misreading a map, but insisting the car is going the right way. Watching him handle adversity is like trying to fix a broken sink with duct tape. It fails, but you almost respect the effort.
Straight to
Kamala saying, I need a vice president dumber than me. It's Walz. Men have tampons.
We have a lot of accomplishment. We haven't taken adequate credit for it, frankly. We got to do a better job of getting the word out about what we have accomplished and who did it.
You got to lose because we got to break this cycle. We're getting.
Timing couldn't be better. Joe Rogan's takedown landed as people crave authenticity, and Walz serves the opposite forced charm, non-stop awkwardness. Joe shows Walz isn't out of touch. He's practically on another planet. Not sinister, hilarious. Walz stars in a political drama he believes in, but he's the comic relief. Joe painted a politician who stumbled into attention by accident, convinced himself of destiny, and improvised ever since. From over-the-top speeches to awkward timing, dad joke policies to inflated confidence, Walz became less of a leader and more of a walking blooper reel. Minnesota wanted a governor. They got a sitcom character. Thanks to Joe Rogan, everyone got front row seats. It wasn't a fluke, it's a pattern.
Complete pathological liar.
Let's be honest. There are outsiders coming into communities, stealing and moving jobs away, and making life harder for people living there. And they have names: Donald Trump and J.D. Vance.
Complete liar. Lied about being in Tiananmen Square. Lied about being a head coach of a football team.
Because this started, and I love this story, as a young prosecutor. Kamala Harris talked about going in that courtroom for the first time.
Pathological liars. People that are habitual liars. They just lie all the time about everything. Yeah. Oh, you didn't deploy for war. You didn't. Why are you saying you deployed at war? The weapons you used in war? No. You were in war.
I plan on waking up on...
Walz isn't unlucky. He's consistent. Every move, speech, or attempt to look presidential turns into a blooper reel. Almost impressive. Like gravity hits Minnesota politicians harder. You'd think he'd learn? Nope. He walks into the same glass door twice. It's like a magician with one trick, half the time failing. People clap politely, wondering if they deserve a headliner, not a warm-up act. Yet Walz struts around delivering Oscar-worthy monologues, unaware everyone's watching a comedy reel. Joe Rogan didn't need secret files. Just holding up a mirror showed the truth. Tim Walz, accidental comedian of politics, starring in a never-ending sitcom. Not a scandal, not an expose, just Walz talking, moving, performing. The comedy revealed itself. This isn't bad luck. Walz drifts through chaos, convinced he's thriving, while the laugh track grows louder. Thanks to Joe, the illusion cracked. Once you see it, you can't unsee it.